Hello guys, welcome to the fiction series. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto was the demigod hero of Teen Titans? Huge shout out to Mad Raptor Fanfiction for this story. If you want more awesome fan fiction like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So without wasting any time, let's get into the video. The boy, no older than 16 years old, was chained up and hanging above a platform. He was only about 166 centimeters tall, but he had an athletic build. He was currently wearing only his boxers with ancient Japanese characters written all over his belly, extending towards the rest of his body. He was in the middle of a white void, on a platform held up by golden clouds. There were 5 people on the platform, while he hovered above them in chains. The chains on his body were blacker than black, with the only exception being the golden chains that covered his right arm. So Godse didn't think me trying to take Japan would cause the gods to be mad at me. Uzumaki Naruto grinned when he guessed where he was, and he looked around. Uzumaki Naruto, please be silent, you have been chosen to receive our blessing. A woman, a beautiful woman with black hair, stated as she walked forward. She had a golden aura around her, much like she was the sun herself. A halo of light surrounded her body, and she spoke calmly with a soothing voice. Naruto could only guess her name. Amaterasu then. Naruto guessed. He was correct. Yes, I am. We, the gods of this nation, had chosen you to be a vessel for our power. You do not have a choice but to accept our blessings. Amaterasu wasn't giving him an offer, she was giving him an order. Naruto went silent as he looked at the chief god of his nation, and he looked at the other gods who had him surrounded. Blessings. Blessings from gods always came with curses, he knew that much to be true. So you summoned me and chained me up to bless me? Naruto still didn't know why he was chosen. Also when they kidnapped him. Very few humans can handle being blessed by even one of us who chose you, because you are capable of surviving our blessings. Make sense, and what if I refuse? Naruto asked with his grin in place. You can't. I am Kusanadahime, wife of Susanoo. Goddess of rice, agriculture, marriage, love, childbirth, and child rearing. Bless you, Uzumaki Naruto. I bless you with great strength, with a strong body, and the earth may not harm you, but with my blessing comes this warning. Should you wield your strength in hatred, it will be diminished until you purify yourself of that hatred. A beautiful, traditional woman in long flowing robes came forward. She held her hands up and created a glowing ring between her hands. The ring went flying towards Naruto. It attached to his thumb. "Okay. Great strength just got great, is it?" Naruto asked the goddess, who stepped back and bowed to the ground. She placed her head against the platform she was standing on and completely ignored his question. Another goddess stepped forward. She was dressed more loosely and was smiling. I am Aim no Uzumaki. I am the goddess of dawn, mirth, meditation, revelry, and the arts. I bless you, Uzumaki Naruto. Uzum raised her hands up in a more dramatic fashion. She summoned a ring of her own and started to fill it with her power. I give to you my blessing, restoration. Whenever you bathe in the light of dawn, your body will be restored and you can heal yourself through meditation. Uzum gave him a blessing that actually sounded like it wouldn't really have a downside. Naruto held his breath on that. But my blessing comes with a warning. If your heart is tainted by anger or sadness, no amount of meditation will fully heal you. Only those filled with joy or happiness may use my blessing. Uzum was serious, but she spoke with a smile. Her ring went flying towards Naruto and fused to his index finger. Hey you. A demonic large muscular Oni-like creature came forward when Uzum bowed her head to the ground and joined with Kusanadahime. I am Raijin, the mighty god of lightning, thunder, and storms. I grant you a mighty blessing. I bless you, Uzumaki Naruto. I bless you with the blessing of flight so that you may enjoy the storms in freedom. The lightning may never cause you harm, but my blessing comes with a warning. Should your belly button ever be covered up, you may not fly. Raijin gave his warning. Belly button? I have a fetish for belly buttons, got a problem with that. You got a tight and sexy belly, so you cover up those abs, you don't get to fly. Raijin took anger with the way Naruto questioned him. Amaterasu coughed into her hand. Raijin grumbled before he bowed his forehead to the platform. The ring in his hand went flying towards Naruto and fused to his middle finger. Hey you are. Now, Uzumaki Naruto, Amaterasu Amakami, the goddess of the sun and the universe, grant to you a blessing. I grant you the power to call on the energy of the sun, and no flame will ever hurt you, and my blessing comes with a warning. Amaterasu explained as she summoned a ring into her hand. Your power to utilize the sun's energy will wither in the dark, away from the sun's grace. The ring went flying to his middle finger, sitting underneath the R-ring, so that there was an ring and an A-ring above and below each other. K-U-R-A. Amaterasu stepped back, but did not bow her head. A sickly, smiling old man stepped forward. I am the god Materigen, the god of obstacles, pestilence, performing arts, and destiny, and my blessing to you is that the power of eyes that can see through trickery, so that no obstacles may fool you, and no disease shall harm you. But my blessing comes with a warning: should your body be filled with the venom, you will suffer, but not die because funk you disrespectful punk. Materigen stated, stuck his tongue out at Naruto. His ring fused to Naruto's ring finger. Hey, you ram. He bowed his head to the ground and back away. Amaterasu stepped forward a second time. As the chief of the gods, I, Amaterasu, give you a second blessing. I, as goddess of the universe, grant you a blessing that will allow you to travel the sea of stars. You may travel the universe and will understand all people and Titan due to my love for you. This blessing has no warning. Your home is the universe. Amaterasu summoned a final ring and she sent it towards his pinky finger, where it fused there. Hey, you rama. So you gods brand me with your blessings. Naruto was forcefully silenced when flames covered his mouth. Amaterasu had her hand raised. By uttering the name on your hand, you will be granted an outfit that will hide your identity. Only those who you trust will be able to see through your identity. Uzumaki Naruto, with our blessings, we place upon you the burden of fighting against a foul destiny that may come to pass. Go to a place called Jump Sitithir. You will discover why you have been given your blessings. Amaterasu snapped her fingers. Change. Naruto was no longer chained and floating in the divine zone. Instead, Naruto was in a place where he didn't recognize. He was wearing the clothes that he was wearing before he had been kidnapped by the gods, and when he looked down at his right hand, he noticed that he was not wearing the rings, but he could still sense them. They were not visible, but he could feel them in his very soul. The gods had blessed him to stop a foul destiny. They didn't even ask him if he was willing to do it, they just pushed it onto him. Naruto had half a mind to not follow their commands. Beautified Dante can't tell innocent people will suffer, damn it. Naruto hissed to himself at the fact that he couldn't allow innocent people to get hurt because he was pissed at a few divine people. They were expecting him to become a hero, with no choice in the matter. Kurama. Naruto stated. His fist glowed. His clothes changed from what he had been wearing to something new. He had orange guards with red spirals printed on them around his forearms and shins for starters, and he was absolutely shirtless. He had golden bangles hanging from his wrists and ankles, and no shoes or socks. He had an orange and red cloth tied around his waist that covered down to just above his knees, and underneath it, he had on black pants that were cut off just below his knees. Around each of his eyes was a red marking that covered the top of his eyes. Naruto felt a burning sensation on his right shoulder, and he looked at it, so see a tattoo being burned into his shoulder. The character for Wind. Naruto could feel the knowledge on how to at least use his powers come to him, and he found himself able to float in the air just by trying to imagine it. He had full control over his ability to fly, and it was as easy as breathing. I hate it, but this is kind of cool. Naruto noticed that he could feel his body absorbing sunlight to some degree, and it was like he was being filled with energy. Naruto summoned that energy and created a golden energy around his hand. He had superpowers. Oh, go my child, to Jump City, where you shall change destiny. You're not always going to be watching me, are you? Naruto asked the air, because he could hear Amaterasu's voice in his head. Only while you stand on the sacred soil you were born on. Well, that alone is reason enough to leave Japan. Naruto cracked a joke, and he could hear a giggle in his head. Naruto started to fly off in a direction that he felt he needed to go in. The hero Kurama was born. Flying, pretty cool. Jump City, pretty far away though, to the point that Naruto had to stop and get a map so that he could fly in the right direction. At least with flying he could just go in a straight-ish line towards his destination-ish, since he still had to make course corrections when he noticed he was going off course. Bump. My map. Oh no, the tasty combination of meat, cheese, and veggies. Naruto actually somehow managed to bump into a person, which when considering he was flying, was damn hard for him to believe. Naruto noticed hamburgers were falling towards the ground while his map was blown away in the wind. Naruto had the option to go for the map or to help the person he bumped into to collect all of their burgers before they hit the ground. There were like 20 of them. I got you. Naruto noticed it was a girl about his age that he bumped into as he flew down to collect burgers with her. Awesome orange skin and red hair, with green eyes and a questionable at most choice and revealing outfit, not that he was one to talk with his entire torso exposed. Why, thank you for the help. The woman spoke with a very energetic voice that had a certain static accent to it. She saw that she was getting help. She was catching the burgers in a large, very large, damn near comically large bag of burgers that showed that a good number of burgers had not fallen out of the bag. Naruto caught close to 15 burgers and held them in his arms. Not a problem, no wonder you couldn't see me, that bag is really big. Naruto saw green eyes looking at him. And I'm not exactly somebody who can judge a sorry for bumping into you. Naruto dropped the burgers into her bag for her. Could she eat all of that by herself? She was all smiled. It is as they say, when there is no harm, there is no chicken, at least that is what friend Beast Boy says. She said, and instantly Naruto was confused. Was his universal translator broken? Oh. You meant to say no harm, no foul. Okay, yeah, I get that then. Actually, can you give me directions to a city called Jump City? Uzumaki. Naruto, by the way, what is your name? Naruto asked as he eyed her. Not human. He could kind of tell she wasn't human, but he didn't know what she actually was. The fact was that she was flying unassisted, though again he wasn't one to be able to judge that. She gave off a very positive aura though, which made it easy to talk to her. This is Jump City. Oh, and in your language my name is Starfire. I am what you call, a hero who protects this Jump City. So what brings you here? Starfire introduced herself to Naruto. It kind of made Naruto curious about what her native language was, but she seemed fine to address herself by a translated version of her name. Nice girl. I don't really know, I'm supposed to do good deeds and help people, I guess. Naruto crossed his arms, unsure of what exactly he was supposed to do. Starfire became excited. Oh. New friend Uzumaki. If you are here to do the deeds of good, then I must introduce you to my team. Together, we do the deeds of good. I am sure that they would be very excited to meet you. Starfire grabbed both of his hands and shook them up and down. She realized something. Oh no. Burgers. Naruto saw it raining burgers down below. In another location. It sure is taken Starfire a while to come back with the burgers. I hope she remembered to get veggie ones. The Teen Titans, a newly formed group of teenage heroes. Robin, the leader of the teen who kept his eyes hidden from view. Currently leaning up against a cabinet and looking at a clock on the wall. Maybe instead of worrying about veggie burgers, worry about the butt whooping I'm giving you. Cyborg spoke to another member, Beast Boy, as the two sat on a couch together and played video games on a large screen TV, a racing game. Cyborg being a tall black-skinned man, with more robot to his body than man. He was grinning at being in the lead. Ah. The shortest person in the room, a green-skinned boy with pointed ears and green hair, screamed in shock. No fair, dude. You totally took the shortcut. Beast Boy couldn't stop the excuse before it came out of his mouth. The two of them then got more absorbed in their game, leaning forward towards the TV. Booyah. Nuo. I'm sure Starfire is finna must be a long line at Burger Town. Robin kept his eye on the clock, though he grinned slightly when he saw Beast Boy lose the race. He looked towards the last person in the room, a woman who was floating in midair. She was about his height and she wore a black leotard with a blue cloak, hood pulled down. She was just meditating. Robin passed the time by whistling another tune, since they were all hungry waiting for their friend to get back with the burgers. Raven had an eyebrow twitch when he started whistling, but she still said nothing. Just the sounds of whistling and gaming between two boys could be heard as Raven stayed totally silent. The door slid open. Friends, I have returned with the combinations of meat, cheese, and the veggies, and I have also come bring a new friend I found while flying. This is friend Uzumaki. Starfire walked through the door carrying all of the burgers, while Naruto walked behind her. Robin raised an eyebrow when he saw Naruto. Robin whistled. Whoa, you're pretty cut. Nice to meet you, name is Robin, leader of the team. Going by how you're dressed Japanese, right? Robin was the first to greet Naruto as he entered the room. He raised an eyebrow, but in the end decided to be welcoming of a person Starfire brought to the tower. Naruto was looking around the living room. Actually, yes, good guess though not exactly hard to guess. Naruto looked at the kanji on his arm and his overall Japanese warrior god dress scheme. He extended his hand to Robin and shook hands with him. You see, I wasn't looking where I was flying and just bumped into Starfire. Sorry if I made her late for lunch. Actually, I was thinking about asking to join your team. Naruto was still shaking hands with Robin. Robin showed interest in that. I won't promise anything, but I think it sounds fine to test you out. We can see what you can do before we make you a member. We have a few bedrooms we aren't using anyway. Robin didn't turn Naruto away. Want to stay for lunch, Uzumaki? Naruto, actually Uzumaki is my family name. Food. Cyborg smelled hamburger and jumped off the couch while pausing the game. Booyah, victory and a victory may land the loser veggie burgers for the loser. Cyborg didn't notice Naruto right away as he rushed towards the bags and grabbed a burger in each of his hands. Right away that was. After he had eaten 4 burgers in a row, he noticed Naruto. Well, Beast Boy unpaused the game and started to cheat with a wicked giggle. Hey, pause that subdued Japanese right? Cyborg asked Naruto with a look to the designs on his clothes. So, what brings you to the tower? You here to deliver those parts I ordered because those were supposed to arrive like in 2 weeks. Cyborg remembered that he had ordered some machine parts from Japan. Naruto deadpanned. Friend Beast Boy, do you not want to come and say hello to new friend Uzumaki? Starfire asked Beast Boy and she dumped all of the remaining burgers on the table. Want to eat lunch with us? Robin offered Naruto a burger. Minus 30 minutes later. And that is why I'm here. So, a bunch of Japanese gods kidnapped you, gave you powers, and told you to come to Jump City to change destiny or something that sounds hard to believe. Robin had a little trouble fully believing Naruto's story, but Naruto didn't have the body language of a liar either. Everyone was done eating, with some bellies being bloated with food. Dude, I'm going to veg out so hard after this, Beast Boy belched. Cyborg belched louder. Why Starfire then belched the loudest, blowing away Cyborg and Beast Boy. Her burp got spit on Raven, who just wiped it off and flicked it to the floor with a disgusted face. Raven looked towards Naruto with a raised eyebrow when he explained why he was in Jump City. Excuse me. Starfire cutely said, shrinking on herself before going back to normal with a smile. Raven coughed into her hand. Sorry, but you don't even know why you're here? Raven asked Naruto. She and Robin were the more serious ones. Not really, but it has either become a hair or I'm pretty sure the gods will try and smite Meme. Naruto wasn't sure if there would even be a punishment if he didn't do anything. Still, it was better safe than sorry, and if somebody needed help he might as well make the attempt. Anyway, they mentioned Jump City and if I can help in whatever mess is happening, shouldn't I at least try to help? Naruto asked Raven. Robin nodded. That's well said, yeah, I don't see a reason to turn you down. Tomorrow, let's hold your Titan tryout and see what you are made of. Robin was more sure after Naruto spoke. Naruto gave a good convincing answer. So he would give Naruto a chance, and it wasn't like they had been a hero team all that long. They had only finished the Titan Tower and been a team for a few weeks, so they were still in the process of figuring each other out anyway. Adding another person this early one wouldn't change things between them too much, and it was the best time to add somebody else anyway. You play video games? Beast Boy asked Naruto. Never played one before. Beast Boy collapsed in shock, and Cyborg collapsed with him, the two teens holding onto each other in shock and horror at the fact somebody around their age had never played a video game before. Did I say something shocking? Naruto whispered to Robin. Belittle to them. So, you mentioned powers. What powers do you have besides flight? Robin was admittedly curious. Cyborg became interested in that. Super strength, I'm pretty durability, I'm immune to a few forms of damage. Got situational healing powers, I can absorb sunlight and control it. Naruto noticed Starfire perk up at the last part and she showed interest. I'm a universal translator and a few more things like really good eyes. All of my powers have weaknesses and one is really dumblicarially dumb. Naruto deadpanned. Everyone listened in carefully. I'm not saying what it is, but a few of my powers get weak when I experience any negative emotion. Naruto saw the Titans all fall out of their seats when he mentioned not telling what his dumbest weakness was. If you get tickled, you shoot loose all your powers. Beast Boy guessed the weaknesses as he creeped closer to Naruto, wiggling fingers. No. The color yellow. Robin guessed with a pointed finger. No, that is even dumber than my weakness. Ah. You have trouble with the understanding of other languages and their phrases. Starfire chimed in. That's you. Naruto, Cyborg, Raven, Beast Boy and Robin all stated together, denying that was Naruto's weakness. Starfire blushed and rubbed the back of her head. I'm not telling what it is. Am I staying in a guest room tonight? Naruto asked Robin, who wanted him to test himself the next day. Robin nodded. Sure, and if you show any skill, we can just make it your room. So, what is your hero name? Robin asked as he and Naruto stood up to go to the guest room. I mean, just Naruto. The magic that makes my hero clothes also makes it so people can't recognize me magically. So I don't really need to change my name. I'm already bad with names. Naruto had that as a personal weakness. If somebody called him by a hero name, there was no way he would remember they were talking to him. Better just go with his real name. Cyborg had to whistle. I can't do that with both hands, Naruto, you might be nearly as strong as Starfire is. Cyborg was the second physically strongest on the team, able to easily lift several hundred of tons if he maxed out, something that Starfire could do with one hand, and he was watching as Naruto did the same feat of strength with a single hand as well. Naruto was lifting up a superhuman weight machine's weight. Nice, that is nice. Robin was impressed by the amount, but then again being gifted super strength meant that it was something to be expected that he could compete with Starfire. Hey Starfire, you think you and Naruto can try arm wrestling, see which one of you is stronger? Robin asked Starfire. That sounds. Nah, how about the next test though? Naruto didn't really care to arm wrestle somebody since he still didn't quite know the limits of his own strength. An Aslithit was about it. You can fly, have super strength, and you seem like a pretty cool guy overall. As far as I'm concerned, you're in. Robin saw all he needed to see with what he had seen. Naruto had a muscular body not because he was born with superpowers, that was a body that he had gained before he ever got the superpowers. Meaning he had a good work ethic and kept himself in shape. The fact was that he had the humility of somebody who had to work himself up to some degree. Awesome to be a part of the team. Naruto had a bone-crushing hug from Starfire moments later. Yes. A new friend and teammate. We must do the feast of celebration. Starfire jumped around, up and down while holding Naruto. Robin, Cyborg, and Raven all huddled up and looked at Naruto with a sense of pity. They had all experienced the bone-crushing hugs that she could give. My gears are bending just from watching that. Oof. Naruto got out of the hug. Kurama. Naruto stated as he got out of his hero clothes and into regular clothes, not that the tests were done. Since they wore their hero clothes 24/7, he wanted to at least wear normal clothes while at the tower. So you don't have your powers like that, right? Robin questioned. Naruto laughed a little. I still have Ali can't fly like this, but I still have all my other powers. Naruto had a shirt on, which meant that he couldn't fly. Naruto took a single step out of the training room and his foot touched a tripwire. Naruto ducked as he saw a cream pie coming straight for his face. It missed Robin, going over his shoulder, before Cyborg stepped out of the way and the cream pie landed right on the carpet. They all stared at it. Ahahaha. Gotcha. Welcome if you dodged it. Beast Boy laughed. Then stopped laughing when he noticed that his pie stunt had completely missed. I just want you to know I'm deathly allergic to cream, I would go into shock and absolutely die if that had touched me. Naruto stated in a 100% serious tone of voice. Oh he am so. Just kidding. Naruto saw how apologetic Beast Boy was becoming and the green boy's face dropped when he got played, much to the amusement of most of the others who had witnessed the display. Beast Boy looked at Naruto with a stunned look. Ahaha. You got me with that one dude. -4 days later. So it is a crime fighter to do when there isn't really any crime. Naruto wondered to himself as he sat on a cough next to Robin and Beast Boy, the two titans both playing a game with each other, with Beast Boy actually in the lead, only for Robin to take it. So I'm going to go train. Raven, maybe we can train together. Naruto stated as he got up and walked past the meditating woman. Naruto opened the mini fridge and he flinched when he saw leftovers that were covered in blue fury and growled at him. Naruto quickly, very quickly, shut the fridge closed. I am training. Ahake then, is Cyborg in his room? Naruto asked her, and she opened an eye to look towards him. That was his key to realize she didn't know the answer, so Naruto just walked off to go and see if Cyborg wanted to train. Or hang out. Or something. Naruto walked through the open door and walked right into Cyborg, who had one of his arms opened up with wires showing inside of it. Okay, who was in my room, because I'm missing a wrench. How am I supposed to tune up the sonic cannon if I can't loosen my arm up? Cyborg spoke to the room as a whole. Clearly he was busy today. I'm going to do a patrol, actually. Going to you know what I'm going to see if Starfire wants to join. Naruto got some attention with that one. A patrol, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, let's go team. Robin won the game, much to Beast Boy's great annoyance. Raven opened her eyes, since she would have no issues joining for a patrol with everyone. I'm pretty sure there is a carnival tonight, so why don't we meet up there when we're all done? We can split into teams of 2. Robin stated as he thought about it. Having a team of 6 really was convenient. Sounds good, Naruto, once I get my arm all tuned up, want to team up for it. Cyborg was down for a patrol, and then the carnival, and in that order. Cyborg leaned down and whispered something to Naruto, with everyone else having their ears practically grow trying to listen in. When Beast Boy turned into a rabbit though, Cyborg went silent. -3 hours later. You can't do this with Starfire, Raven. Naruto heard Cyborg making motorcycle noises as he held onto his shoulders, sitting on his lower back as the two of them flew through the air. Since Cyborg couldn't fly on his own, much like Robin, he needed somebody to either carry him or needed to be on the ground to do patrol. Naruto was not a fan of the motorcycle noises. I can't sit on them, I'm too big awkward fit, but come in everyone, I can't name anyone who doesn't wish they had either A flying bike, B a flaming bike, or C a high-tech bike. Cyborg listed the different types of motorcycles that almost everyone has wished for at least once in their life, if they were dudes like them. I literally Ami bike is back in Japan. Naruto deadpanned when he realized that his own motorcycle was back in his home country. Just great. That was dumb of him. You got a bike. That sounds awesome, dude, you need to go get it. I can fly, consider the bike all yours to do with what you will. I literally have no use for a motorcycle to get around anymore. Naruto didn't need it, so why not give it to a teammate who could actually make use of it? Booyah. Ow. I might be durable, but having my back twisted like this still hurts. Cyborg had yanked up on him when he shouted in joy, and it ended with Naruto getting the spinal adjustment against his will by the super-powered robot arms the man had. Cyborg wordlessly apologized. They flew around the city more, but ended up seeing nothing that needed their attention, so Cyborg went back to making motorcycle noises with his mouth. Okay, that has got to stop. How would you like it if I did that to you? Moments later. Booyah. Cyborg ran down the street with Naruto on his shoulders, holding onto his legs, as the two of them performed the world's weirdest shoulder ride. Cyborg was just as amused by the fun they were having on patrol, not minding being the motorcycle at all. His communicator in his arm went off. He kept running. Cyborg, Naruto, we have a small issue, how fast can you two get over here? On our way now. Cyborg stated as Naruto jumped from his shoulders, and Cyborg jumped onto his back once more and took up the driving position, and they took to the skies. You can do the thing. Cyborg got permission this time, and he enjoyed the hell out of acting like he was on a flying motorcycle. Naruto hated it, but he had a weakness. He couldn't resist a stupid joke. As it would turn out, carnivals were not his thing. So Naruto went back to the tower and decided his time was much better spent training. Naruto held a small yellow orb above his hand while he tried to judge how much solar energy he could hold in himself at night and how much he could use when he wasn't able to absorb more. Since his solar-based powers used the sunlight he absorbed, when it was dark he could not absorb more, but that did not suddenly mean he didn't have the amount he had already absorbed. The Kathis uses Naruto hummed as he judged how much he used. Friend Uzumaki. Largal Naruto responded with a shock when he saw Starfire enter his room. Naruto almost lost control over his solar energy, but he contained it before it exploded on him. He then allowed it to fade away harmlessly as he looked towards to Starfire. What's up, not to be a jerk but knock next time, and Naruto was a little distracted. The dark Starfire. Starfire, but with narrow dark purple eyes and black hair, stood right next to Starfire, and she gave off a much beepier attitude. She wore full body, tight metal armor, but a black version of Starfire's outfit over the top of it. Oh, this one speaks Tamaranian. Starfire, just call me Naruto. No, I don't speak Tamaranian. I have an ability that translates everything I say, hear, and see into me brain auto-translates everything, and my voice auto-translates into languages other people understand. Naruto simplified his ability, but he was concerned about who it was he was talking to. So Starfire Tamaranians reproduce by cloning themselves because she looks sister, duh. Naruto palmed his face when he came to the realization of something smarter. Oh, you are just a funny one. Starfire said you left the carnival earlier than the others, and you weren't in the living room when I was introduced to them. Name's Blackfire. Starfire's older, sister, anything she can do, I can do better. Blackfire extended her hand to Naruto. Naruto looked at her, and he looked at Starfire, who glanced away from Blackfire at the comment she made. Naruto nodded his head for a second, and he looked right into Blackfire's eyes. Well, nice to meet you, but honestly, Starfire is pretty great at a lot of things. She may just surprise you, you haven't seen her in a while. Naruto could tell a narcissist when he saw one, and there was something about Blackfire's eyes that screamed to him that trusting her wouldn't play well. He didn't need super eyesight or any powers to tell when a person had bad eyes. He had always been surrounded by people just like this woman. Blackfire slowly lowered her hand when she realized Naruto wasn't going to shake it, and she didn't mention it or make any statement on it. He did notice that Starfire had a green gem hanging from her neck that didn't belong there. She seemed happy with his comment. If you're training, I can show you a few tricks. Seems like you're like us Tamaranians, you can absorb and release solar energy. Do it in the form of starbolts. What do you call your ability? Blackfire had a smooth tongue, he would give her that. She was perfectly flirty, and she had a great charisma that just sucked you into her words. Sadly, it wouldn't work on him. Actually, it just made him not want to talk to her at all. By thinking of calling them Starfires, I thought I would name them after the best Tamaranian I've ever met. Naruto would change the name to something else later because he was not calling them something so corny. Starfire hugged him when Blackfire gave a slight frown. For a second. Oh. Thank you for honoring me with the naming of your power after myself. Starfire really seemed to be uplifted by his comment. Blackfire let out a small laugh. Then maybe call them Blackfires, because I did have to save my sister from being captured tonight. Good for you, you acted like a big sister should act. You want a medal for ID mean, I don't even have siblings, and even I understand big siblings help little ones. Naruto stopped Blackfire in the middle of her stroking her own ego. She seemed to be taken back for a moment, and she seemed to take a hint. She kept the smile up though. This one is a lost cause, he isn't saying anything out of respect for Starfire, but unlike the author seems to be able to see through my charming ways. Blackfire couldn't believe that he could just see through her, but she could tell that he was not her friend. Even more than that, he seemed to consider her somebody he didn't even want to talk with. "Hey Starfire, I've been training for all. I think you can get me a soda real quick?" Naruto asked Starfire with a sorry smile. She beamed. "Of course friend Uzumaki. Call me Naruto." Naruto called out to her as she left and closed the door behind her. Naruto dropped his smile. Blackfire dropped her smile. They made fierce eye contact. "You're just like me," Blackfire realized with a grin when she saw his face twist into a frown and she got a good look at his eyes. The eyes of a ruler. The eyes of somebody who broke the rules and had the pure ambition needed to desire ruling over others. He must have been somebody who had always been better than others in some way and used that to desire more power. It was no wonder that he could see through her act so easily, because it was an act that he had put on before as well. "I was like, yeah, your little cool girl act won't work with me, and don't flatter yourself, you are nothing like me. Stay away from me and don't try and hurt. Starfire gets hurt and you get hurt." Naruto gave that as his only warning. Blackfire kept that confident smirk on her face. "Okay then, nothing." "Huh?" Naruto was a little confused when she called him nothing while the door was opening. Naruto didn't know what she said since his brain translated it, but apparently Starfire really knew what it meant because she had opened the door to his room just in time to hear Blackfire call him nothing. "You do not call him that. How dare you, Blackfire, that is not friend Uzumaki." Starfire stopped her angry tirade against her sister. Naruto grabbed her wrist. "I'm guessing she just called me a slur or something. Don't worry Starfire, I'm not offended by whatever she has to say, I'm used to being called all kinds of slurs. Don't be too mad at her, we were just having a little argument." Naruto laughed it off. "Call me Naruto." Naruto repeated to Starfire. Blackfire nodded. "That's right, I'm really sorry about that, I just got a little heated in our argument and it slipped out, I meant nothing by it." Blackfire managed to play it off in a way that Starfire seemed to accept. Naruto raised an eyebrow when Starfire of all people seemed like she was really upset with Blackfire. The hell did Blackfire call him that got that reaction? Blackfire left the room. "Summy brain translated that for me, can you slowly tell me what she called Meme, spell it out for me?" Naruto whispered to Starfire. "Proc." Kakashi and Naruto didn't know what she got so offended. "She called you nothing, said you were worthless. It's an insult other races use for species they view as beneath them. Tamaranians have been called that by many. Blackfire knows how inappropriate that word is, but she still used it as wrong because you are not nothing." Starfire seemed more offended for his sake. Naruto wanted to laugh at his face. "Me he have been called worse. Anyway, I'm going to avoid your sister, she reminds me too much of somebody I don't like that much." Naruto didn't need the constant reminder after all. "So you mind helping me go to my apartment in Japan and getting my old stuff to bring Harry, it would go faster with the two of us." Naruto didn't want to make multiple trips, so having Starfire help him out would be appreciated. Naruto rubbed his eyes when there was a glow coming from Starfire's new necklace. "Are your eyes okay, friend Uzumaki? Call me Naruto, and did Blackfire give that to you?" Naruto poked the gem on her chest. Getting a closer look at it tickled his eyes in a way that didn't feel that great. "Yes, it is a rare moon diamond from Century, these are worth quite a lot," Starfire stated, and Naruto nodded his head. He grabbed it. "Do you mind if I keep it in my room just for now?" Naruto didn't want to say it just in case he was wrong, and he didn't want to hurt Starfire by saying what he suspected. "Dude, it was a gift from my sister. Despite our differences, she does not give me many gifts. I'll give it back, but you know what, if this gem gives off super radiations that are dangerous to normal humans. If you wear this, you could make Robin super sick and Cyborg's human parts immune to radiation and disease, so just let me keep an eye on it for now until I'm sure it's safe." Naruto managed to bullshit that one in a way that wouldn't hurt Starfire's feelings. He didn't like, trust, or want to be around Blackfire, but she was still Starfire's sister, and he did not want to cause any conflict if he could help it. Starfire actually took it off with a smile on her face and happily gave it to him. "I see, then my gift is in good hands then. Thank you, friend Uzumaki." Starfire hugged him and then quickly let go. "Naruto." Starfire saw Naruto open his mouth and she could easily guess the words that were about to come out of his mouth. "I do have a question for you though, where did you get those very cute pajamas?" Starfire asked Naruto. He was wearing his pajamas. "They are Jinbe, can make you some if you want. Maybe still don't know where all my clothes are coming from." Naruto opened his closet and showed a whole stock of traditional Japanese outfits. "I'm pretty sure one of the gods have taken a liking to me and they keep giving me traditional clothes and I'm pretty damn sure I'm not ever going to be wearing this." Naruto took the fundashi from the closet and tossed it across the room. He guessed that Raijin was to blame for that one. The really traditional stuff he blamed on Amaterasu, or maybe Kusanada him, possibly Uzum for the more revealing stuff. The fundashi was totally Raijin though. All him. A freaking pervert. Uzumaki. You skipped rent for weeks. Then kick me out because I live somewhere else now. Naruto laughed as he entered his old apartment with Starfire behind him. Back in Japan. It was not a long flight all things considered, since he and Starfire could both travel at insane speeds while flying. He still had the key to his apartment and Naruto gave Starfire a jacket to wear over her uniform so that she didn't stick out nearly as much. You do not correct him when he addresses you by the name of your family. Starfire pointed out as she followed him. She smiled when she noticed his apartment was decently clean, she would say. She started to walk around, staring at all of the interesting things that she saw, like the motorcycle sitting in the middle of the room. Naruto didn't have a bunch of stuff to call his own, just some yearbooks from school, his motorcycle, some clothes he didn't need anymore, and finally a large amount of ramen cups packed got up and ready to go. Instead of home sweet home, let's get this stuff back home. Can you sweeten a home to eat it? At night. Sweet, this is the ride you were taking about. I bet I could soup this baby up something fierce, and you're sure you're fine giving this to me? Cyborg was happy as Naruto rolled the bike into his room with Starfire. He already had his hands all over the bike and his mind was going over all of the ways he could improve it and change the design to match him. Naruto floated in the air. I'll be fine without. Naruto landed back on his feet. Just leave at least a little orange on it. Naruto touched his hand on the orange part of the bike. Awesome, I'm going to go and ask Blackfire if she knows any alien tech stuff. Cyborg walked off. He passed right by Starfire. Why don't you ask Starfire? I'm sure she would be happy to help. Naruto gestured to Starfire. She smiled. Why yes. I would be very happy to put soup on the motorcycle with you, though I do not understand how that would help it. Starfire seemed very excited, with Naruto being the one who suggested her to help covering his face with his hands. But, most aliens do not put soup in their technology and I am not very versed in the soups of other aliens, or their tech. Starfire seemed down when she mentioned that. Naruto covered his face harder. Cyborg stared at her for a moment. I'm going to stick with Blackfire on this, she knows a thing or two about this stuff. She mentioned traveling through the Glarbak Nebula a while back and they had some wicked tech stuff. Cyborg, in a good nature, turned Starfire down and ushered them out of his room as Blackfire so happened to walk by. Oh, the Glarbak Nebula, yeah, those crazy Glarblekians sure have a way with tech, it would be fun to tell you a thing or two. Blackfire entered Cyborg's room before the door closed behind her and she sent a smirk towards Naruto. Starfire looked down in sadness. Naruto grabbed her shoulder, which got her to look at him. Want to go get freaky with some positive or you want to order, we order it. You said you had 9 stomachs, well let's see how weird they can get. Naruto grinned at Starfire to cheer her up. This Blackfire stuff really bothered her. His suggestion got her excited. Why yes. I do indeed think it would be a wonderful idea to be strange with pizza. Starfire grabbed him and pulled him along with her. Later. Regret. Naruto, it keep your word and eat this garbage to make her happy. Naruto looked down at the death pizza. Mint chocolate cookies, mustard, hot sauce, the sauce was garlic parm, which was fine, and it had a second layer of toppings, consisting of peanut butter, spinach, and pineapple. Pineapple. Such a great food, you can put anything on it. Starfire was enjoying the pizza that would earn the nickname the Devil's Asshole from Naruto. She was enjoying slice after slice, while Naruto looked at the 3 slices she made sure he got for himself. He ate it. He wanted to puke, but he did indeed eat it and made himself smile. He said absolutely nothing and just enjoyed watching her have fun, since the entire Blackfire visit so far had really bothered her. Blackfire was going around and bonding with everyone, to the point he was sure that Starfire felt inferior to Blackfire in a lot of ways. Way better than anything Blackfire could think of, great job Starfire. Naruto sent her a thumbs up. He lied through his funking teeth when he said those words, and he wanted to rip his stomach out through his throat as he ate. Still, he did not want to see that frown go back to her face because of her wicked bitch of a sister. Naruto didn't say anything bad about Blackfire because he had respect for Starfire's love for her sister. Evil or not, that was still his teammate sister. Better than Blackfire had an idea for the next pizza. Let us order a pizza with this ranch for the sauce and we can put apple slices, olives, peppermints, chicken wings and chocolate instead of cheese and mustard. Starfire was enjoying herself to the extreme at him helping her out. This is how I die. Naruto accepted his death with a smile. Let's do it. The next day. He didn't die, but he spent over 2 hours on the toilet that night and he hated every moment of his suffering. Once he absorbed the light of dawn though, he was back to full health and had no side effects from the absolute shitstorm that happened in his guts thanks to Starfire's alien taste buds deciding the menu. He never once complained to her though and he managed to keep a straight face and happy smile the entire meal. Have a good meal yesterday. A wonderful meal, your little sister has great taste. Naruto complimented Starfire right to Blackfire's face when he saw her, waiting right outside of his room for him. He was not going to let Blackfire have anything, not even a grimace of pain he wanted to give when he remembered what he ate yesterday. All 9 horrible pizzas left him emotionally scarred. For life. Oh, does she now? Yes, turns out I'm just lactose intolerant, which is a sham. Her sister designed some amazing pizzas. It's a good thing, she really just has a way with Earth culture. Naruto was not the greatest of liars, but even if she knew he was lying, it would still seem his comments managed to get under her skin. Well, I should get going, I have a poetry slam with Raven today. Yeah, I bet you would be good at that depressing stuff, you dark and gloomy emo types, you're just not as fun as the bright sunlight types like Starfire. Naruto managed to get a final dig in as Blackfire walked away. After that, I'll play video games with BB and Sai. Staying cooped up all day and playing video games, it's almost like you want dark circles under your eyes. Naruto managed to whip out another dig when Blackfire tried for another statement in another field that she was better at than Starfire, no doubt. Naruto was not going to allow Blackfire to make even a single dig against Starfire in front of him without fighting back. Blackfire had veins on her forehead pounding. Then I'm going to show some alien martial arts to Robin. Wow, you're one of those types, the type who thinks throwing a good punch replaces having a good personality. No wonder, I like Starfire more than you, she can throw a good punch, and she has personality. Naruto could see that one hurt. That one was like a sucker punch to Blackfire, and he could visibly see that she looked ready to attack him for the comment. The second she realized that her emotions were showing on her face, she wiped her face clean and put a beepy smirk back on it. Big words from a troc. Yeah, I didn't grow up with that slur, so it literally does not bother me at all, so call me troc all you want. Naruto deadpanned to Blackfire, since he literally could not care less. He lived his entire life being called slurs, and slurs that hurt way more than that one did. Then easy you ladder then. Blackfire walked off. Naruto grinned. Hey Blackfire, walk slower will you? I like seeing you leave, but I love watching you go. Naruto could see his comment managed to bother her as she got visibly uncomfortable with the statement he made. She straightened her skirt out a little and walked while moving her hips as little as possible. Good, you need to be humbled, you sociopath. Naruto nodded to himself with joy at how much internal annoyance he had caused the woman. If she was going to enjoy hurting Starfire's feelings, he was going to enjoy doing the exact same to her. He wanted to see her in tears before she left Earth. Naruto was meditating. Poke. Man, he is out like a light. Beast Boy stated as he poked Naruto in the face. He was curious, so very curious. He grinned as he popped the top off a marker, and the second he got it inches away from Naruto's face. Your funeral. Beast Boy drew a smile on his own face with a nervous grin once Naruto opened one of his eyes and spoke. Naruto gave a smirk at that before he looked to see everyone was waiting outside of his room. He raised an eyebrow when he noticed that Blackfire was wearing Starfire's clothes. With her clothes, she could genuinely pass for her twin, but with dyed hair. Where is the party? We're going clubbing. No thanks, I don't do clubbing, too many liars there. Naruto was discovering a dirty little secret with his ability to see through obstacles and falsehoods. The feelings of wrongness that came with looking at people. It was not an ability that he could turn off. All eyes and masks that hid the truth set his wrongness sense off, similar to how he could see through Blackfire's lies, he could see through the lies of everyone else. Women who wore makeup to change their looks or enhance them set off his ability for starters. People who wore special shoes to seem taller set off his ability. People with dyed hair set his ability off. Well, it's no loss, then you stay here and do that sleeping thing, since that clearly wasn't meditating. Blackfire threw shade at Naruto. Naruto smiled at her. It's took bad, I actually wanted to give you something but I feel asleep when meditating on how to give it to you. Naruto stated, and everyone went silent. Sparks were flying between their eyes. Brighten of his abilities lets him see through lies, no wonder going to the carnival didn't sit right with him, a lot of tricks and lies there. That must suck. Robin looked at Naruto as he picked up on the subtle thing that Naruto didn't even mean to clue them in on. If he was right, then that meant that being around normal people was enough to set off his senses in the worst possible way. Naruto was unwillingly put on edge around others thanks to his superpowers. Oh, a gift. Man, see, he got you a gift. Cyborg stated as he gave Blackfire a big pat on the back. Naruto collected a charm from his bed and he tossed it to Blackfire. He grinned. It's beautiful. Blackfire looked at Naruto before she wore the charm around her neck. It was kind of bulky for a charm. It was a wooden fox. It is quite beautiful indeed. Oh, then I can make you one if you want. How about you and me work on that tonight? Then Starfire, I could use somebody to help me with this. Naruto smiled towards the awkward-looking Starfire. She was instantly sunshine and rainbows again as she rushed towards him with a hug. Naruto accepted his ribs being crushed before she let go. Hours later. Hehehe. Naruto, you have been giggling for a good while. No, am I missing the joke? Starfire was sitting next to Naruto as she helped him carve a wooden fox statue to put on a necklace. It was time-consuming work to do what he had done to make the wooden charm for Blackfire. He might be. It wasn't a joke, but a way to get rid of Blackfire without anyone figuring it out. The tracker. Naruto figured out that the gem that Blackfire had given to Starfire had a tracker, and he was able to use his abilities as a way to somewhat figure out how quickly the people tracking the gem were approaching. If it was a tracker, that meant that anyone wearing it was the target for tracking, so he questioned how he could get the gem on Blackfire, and the answer was simple. Give her a gift with the gem inside of it in a way where everyone would see him give it to her. She had a cover she needed to keep, so she couldn't turn down any gift he gave her. His gift had the gem hidden inside of it. Then why are you laughing? Starfire was happy and smiling, but very confused. Naruto showed her the wooden fox carving. Foxes are quite the tricksters, they are super cunning. So I got a question for you, how many heads do you think foxes have? Naruto looked at the carving that she did and couldn't stop the question. The fox that she carved had 3 heads to it, and he was a little worried that she didn't know basic animal anatomy. Starfire grinned. This is a Tamaranian Splepnorant, it is our version of a fox. Your Jakinthat is not a name, and there is no way that you are actually joking, good one. Naruto had almost taken her seriously for a second, but despite her not being great at it, she smiled in a way that showed she wasn't being serious. Naruto looked at her smile before he felt his resolve crumble. He needed to tell her the truth. Elsewhere. Wait, so it is Sakanthat is the gem that Blackfire gave Starfire, so why is it inside of the fox carving that Naruto gave to Blackfire? Blackfire had been arrested by space police. They had managed to capture her after explaining why they were after her during a fight. Everyone was confused through, at first, when the fox statue Naruto gave to Blackfire broke and revealed the stolen gem inside of it. The police had already explained that the gem was stolen, and they knew Blackfire had stolen it since she gave it to Starfire. Simple knew. Raven answered, having figured it out. The gem had been a lie, so Naruto must have seen something was off about it. He didn't want Starfire to be sad about her sister, so he tried to figure out a way to get Blackfire into trouble without telling us. Robin picked up the gem and handed it to the police. Once the entire mess had been cleared up, they actually helped the police to capture Blackfire. Of course, the captured and gagged Blackfire could hear everything that was going on. She looked furious. Why didn't he at least tell us though? I mean, we can keep a secret. He still haven't told anyone that when Cyborg does laundry, he sometimes wipes his nose on Robin's capes. I'll bet that is why he didn't tell us. Raven noted as Robin glared at Cyborg, who looked away and whistled before glaring at Beast Boy for spilling the beans on his joke. Robin quickly stopped glaring at the taller man. So are we going to keep this from Starfire? I think we should tell her. But Naruto. It makes sense, so you are saying that Blackfire wished to frame me for her crime. Yep, and sorry for keeping it from you, but I figured it would cause you two to start fatiguing. Maybe a little time in prison will cool her head though. Naruto had decided to come clean to Starfire about the deal with her sister. Starfire took it pretty well. That is quite like my sister. I'm almost glad that I don't have family to fight with like this. Are you going to be a canib? Naruto could see cracks forming on the wooden fox. Starfire was pissed. Why did you not tell me sooner? I was never going to tell you, but when I saw you were so happy couldn't keep lying to you. I'm sorry Starfire, I just wanted you to be happy. Naruto stood up. Then, he did something he had never done to another person in his life for this reason. He bowed to Starfire in a heartfelt apology. He lowered his head as an act of humility before he raised it. You are forgiven. Starfire didn't hold a grudge against him though at all. She just hugged him with a smile. Is that why you were meditating earlier? Naruto made a grumpy look. Noi was filing a complaint about the gods. Naruto could talk to them when he meditated, and he had some choice words with them about their choices in underwear. Suck it up, brat, you have a tight, sexy body, and I demand that you show it off. I, for once, agree with Raijin, you need to show off more. You got a nice butt. That was how his complaint went. So, from now on he could only wear Japanese-style clothing because the gods would refuse to allow him to have anything else in his closet. -3 days later. Hatch. Naruto caught sunglasses that Robin tossed to him. Those should help you not be bothered, but didn't work. Robin asked when Naruto put them on, only to instantly take them off. Holy crap, that was a headache. I'll try and make something else then. Robin stated as he walked off, leaving Naruto to hang out with Beast Boy and Cyborg, watching the two of them play video games in peace. The two fighters looked at Naruto, who just shrugged his shoulders in confusion, since he had no clue what the sunglasses were for and why they gave him a headache. Robin glanced back. I'll find a way so that you can enjoy the public with us. Robin glanced at Naruto's eyes. With Naruto's eyes, he couldn't be in public without seeing people's lies and being put on guard. He was going to find a way to block that out so that Naruto could have some fun with them when they had free time. Naruto already had to skip out on the carnival thanks to his ability making him feel wrong. So it is this game exactly about? Naruto asked the other heroes. It's about making Cyborg eat my dirt. Beast Boy took the lead with that statement. Just another day for the Teen Titans. Okay, hit me with your best shot. This is a bad idea. This is going to be awesome. Cyborg disagreed with Raven's statement as Naruto showed his chest towards Starfire. He had a golden ball of energy around his hand and she had a green ball of energy in her hand as well. It was a training day for the Titans, and while most of them worked on their own abilities to improve, Naruto was more focused on learning how far the extent of his abilities covered. His body absorbed sunlight. Starfire's body absorbed sunlight as well, and she could also do similar things to him. Starfire could not absorb sunlight indirectly though. He wanted to see if he was also limited on direct versus indirect sunlight, and there was no better way to test it than to take a starbolt to the chest. Do it. I do not wish to do this. Starfire was not comfortable with the idea of hitting Naruto with her attack. Naruto had emptied his tank of energy for the most part, and while he was still absorbing sunlight to refill himself, after emptying himself he could tell if he absorbed the sunlight from the attack or not. Robin was watching with Caged Snake in his lap and he was monitoring Naruto's vitals. Beast Boy had popcorn. Hit me right in the chest, right here. I can take it. Boom. Robin watched a huge vital spike from Naruto as Starfire got him dead center in the chest with her starbolt. The unnamed attack in Naruto's hand went flying into the air before it came down on top of Starfire as well. It knocked her on the head and the resulting reaction resulted in another explosion. Naruto was face down in the dirt. Starfire had been sent flying into the water just outside of the tower, but her thumb came out of the water and showed she was alright. Naruto responded by raising his hand up into the air and showing that he was okay as well. His vitals were back to normal almost instantly. Well, seems like that had a reaction. Robin had watched all of Naruto, and Starfire's vitals jumped the second their energies touched each other's bodies. There had been some kind of reaction at least that was worthy of doing some research into. The crime alert went off. At another location, 15 minutes later. Black. A suited villain wearing mostly black and some white. He had a full-headed white mask, with the mask not even allowing his hair to show. Most of his body was covered by a black cloak, not a shred of his skin was showing at the moment. Surrounding him were 30 knocked-out guards. In his hand was a single disc that contained the prize that he was looking for. He was already running out of the building, since he didn't have a reason to wait for any backup to come and add to his workload. A small robin-shaped boomerang hit the ground in front of him and he stopped where he was going when it exploded. Not so fast. He looked up and he saw a group of unfamiliar faces looking down at him. 3 flying, 2 on the ground, and 1 perched on top of a streetlight in the form of a bird. Hey, make this easy and just give up. Beast Boy turned back to his boy form and hung from the light. It's never that easy, is it? Robin asked when the masked villain tossed a ball onto the ground in front of himself. It became a smokescreen that covered him, and several throwing daggers escaped the smoke. Robin jumped and rolled out of the way, and the smoke cleared to show that the villain wasn't standing there anymore. Naruto, translate, that sounds like your people talk. Cyborg called out as he dodged a kick from the black-coated figure. He reached out, but he was too slow to actually get his hand on the person who was saying words he didn't understand at all. Naruto deadpanned. He covered for Cyborg with his sun shots, names still not completely decided as of yet. Yes, it is Japanese, but he's literally just saying gibberish god names. It doesn't make sense to me either. Naruto was hearing names getting stated. Nearby cars lifted up thanks to black magic before they were thrown at the mystery black figure. He didn't waste an effort in jumping from car to car before he kicked Raven in the jaw and knocked her into Beast Boy, the 2 fighters both hitting the streetlight Beast Boy had been on and bending it towards the ground. The man had a cord that Robin shot at him wrapped around his leg and he was pulled out of midair toward Cyborg thanks to Robin. Naruto flew at him with Starfire next to him. He pulled out a small white ball. He crunched it between his fingers and there was a flash of light. Oh. Naruto took a Cyborg punch right to the jaw that knocked him into Starfire. The line was attached to his leg, so Robin was jerked into the air with him. He crashed into Starfire and both of them hit the side of the nearest building. The black and white figure landed on the ground, having traded places with Naruto. Asetsuhi Kanasakijeka Amaterasu. Naruto heard that one, and even as he recovered from the punch, and both he and Starfire separated from each other. The figure took out another small ball before he tossed it up into the air. Robin. Naruto saw Robin falling towards the ground, but he saved himself by grappling off a building with a gadget. Naruto reached out and grabbed Robin. Naruto used himself as a shield when the black figure flicked the ball towards them, and the ball transformed into a roaring black flame. Naruto took the attack point black to his back, but took no damage from it at all. Cyborg transformed his arm into a cannon and fired a sonic blast towards the figure, who just took out another small ball and crushed it between his fingers. He swapped places with Raven this time when she was recovering from the hit earlier. "Boo off." "Sorry." Cyborg called out to her. "Naruto, are you okay?" "Yeah, don't let the flames touch you. These are the flames of Amaterasu herself. I'm immune to all flames. If these flames touch you, game over." Naruto reached and grabbed the fire from his back. He created yellow energy around the flames and contained it before he crushed it in his hand. He let go of Robin and allowed him to land on the street. Cyborg, sonic boom time. "Booyah." "Namazu." The figure finished the last name he was saying. He took out another small ball before he dropped it onto the ground. An earthquake started. Those who couldn't fly were shaking with the ground and left unable to properly fight. He started to run towards Robin when he tripped and he pulled a straight sword from his cloak. A familiar sword. Robin threw a rang at him and though he dodged it, it grazed the shoulder of his outfit. FSSSSSSSS. The figure tossed a ball onto the ground and created a smokescreen that faded away quickly and showed he had escaped underground. The earthquake had opened up the sewers and made it easy for him to escape that way. Hours later. He got away. They searched the city and sewers for hours, but the mystery figure just escaped them. Who was that? Sharingan. If the words he was saying had anything to go by, then he was given his powers by gods and goddesses. Those were the names of those who gave him power, in which case, I'm going to go and have a talk with Amaterasu. Naruto was understandably pissed off when he figured that one of the gods who gave him his powers had also blessed another person with deadly powers. Sharingan. Roughly translated, it means mirror we lie. Robin translated it using the Titan computer. I'm going to study the abilities he used in the fight and see if I can't find any weaknesses he might have. Robin was already using any recordings the city cameras caught to see the footage again. Naruto, tell me how your talk with Amaterasu goes. Will do, boss man. Everyone else hit the sewers did not do us any justice. Don't worry, he evaded us this time, but we'll get him next time we meet him. In the realm of the gods. Amaterasu, what the funk was that? That was the one we blessed before we blessed you. Unlike you, his body was not compatible with our blessings and thus he was a failure. That is all there is to say. We are sworn to protect the secrets of those we bless, so that is sadly all I can tell you. Consider him your demigod brother, though he is emotionally, spiritually, and physically a failure. That failure kicked out asses out there, Naruto shouted at the chief goddess. She flinched back. While his body was not suitable for our blessings, it would seem that he did find other unique ways to use them without needing to use his body to activate them. Well, you were a perfect vessel from the start due to your strangely high compatibility with divinity was the opposite. So's a human who has the power of 8 gods, and since the blessings aren't part of his body nearly as much, he has no weakness. He does have a weakness though. Well, the other gods did not give him a weakness, I did give him one. A very fitting one. You say, I don't like that twisted child very much and like you my dear sunshine. I like you a lot. Amaterasu hugged him and tried to soothe him. He was much too respectful, but his heart was tainted and like you my little sunshine. You are a good rowdy boy, with a pure heart. Naruto pushed her off. So what is his weakness? Naruto asked. I really can't tell you. I've told you all I am capable of telling. I can tell you the other gods did not give him a weakness, but I can't tell you the powers they gave him. I can't even tell you what I gave him when he accepted the role of vessel. He asked us to swear a contract of absolute secrecy. Amaterasu would have loved to give Naruto much more information. Sadly, she couldn't. Funk. Language, young man. Funk. On a lighter note, how do you like the clothes we've been sending you? Amaterasu changed the subject, only for Naruto to stare at her. He flipped her off, and he vanished from the realm of the gods. Amaterasu clapped her hands together in joy. Such a high-spirited child. It's good he has so much spirit, he's going to need it. She wondered when he was going to start calling her granny though. Naruto found Robin, very late into the night, viewing the recordings image by image. I've got news. Good or bad? Robin asked when Naruto announced himself with that simple statement. They were in Robin's own bedroom at the moment, and Robin had set up a board with printed images of Sharingan, using each of his abilities from the recordings. News. What news? Robin didn't like the sound of it, but any information could be useful in solving the secret of the villain who got away. Everyone else was asleep, but it was so close to dawn breaking that Naruto would have been awake anyway. Naruto grimaced. No name, and I don't know his powers or weakness per se. He has 8 powers, 1 weakness, and he isn't compatible with the blessings he got. So unlike me, who became a demigod, Sharingan is human and he can't use his powers the way he was supposed to with his body. He's extremely smart apparently. Naruto wished he had more information to give. Robin leaned forward and frowned. 8 powers, 1 weakness. Do you know which god gave him a weakness? Robin asked as he rewinded to just before Sharingan used a smokescreen to escape. The black cape he used and the shoulders of his clothes got ripped as his birdarang nicked him. It was the only hit they got on him during the fight. Anything you can tell me helps. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Well, the only god who gave him a weakness was one who didn't like him. It was the goddess who gave me 2 blessings, Amaterasu. Naruto didn't know if that would help Robin or not. Robin mulled over the name. Amaterasu, goddess of the sun, the universe, and the leader of the Japanese gods. Naruto explained, and Robin frowned more as he replayed the same clip over and over again. Robin was leaning closer to the computer screen and looking more deeply into the same replay over and over again, on repeat as he thought about the battle. Honestly, since he isn't compatible with his blessings, I think those little balls are the only way he can properly use them without hurting himself. Robin glanced back at Naruto. He was masked. Did your vision react to him at all? No, I think his outfit was part of his powers, and because they were part of his powers, he wasn't actually hiding himself the way my vision can't see through. Switching, earthquakes, black flames, possibly disguises, smokescreens. So fair, and we know the names of the gods who blessed him. So we know what to expect. Robin would look more into it. Naruto didn't agree. Actually, a god's blessings just have to vaguely be in the area of what they can bless. I'm immune to fire, lightning, earth attacks, but thanks to Amaterasu I can breathe and survive in space too. All we can be certain of is that he can't properly use his powers the way I can use mine. He's human. Naruto shook his head. Robin spun around. Human demigod, what is the difference when using these powers? Naruto frowned. When I got my powers, I didn't get the power to transform into a demigod. He became a demigod. I stopped being human. Apparently, I was the perfect vessel, so my species changed to match. He was the worst possible match for his powers, so he stayed human. Naruto was currently not wearing his Kurama clothes, but he started to float in the air and he showed his golden energy manipulation in his hands. I only transform my clothes to enhance myself slightly, and because my outfit has the magical ability to prevent people from being able to recognize me, people who don't really know me, that is. Robin spun around with that. His clothes ripped isn't like you. That's it. This is a long shot, but I think that unlike Yao needs to be transformed in his Sharingan outfit to use his powers properly. He's human, like you said, and he isn't a good match for his powers. Naruto frowned. No, if that was the case, when he transforms he would be able to use his powers with his body. His outfit is one of his powers. He think it covers for a weakness he has. Naruto didn't agree with Robin. He was sure the clothes were super important to covering for a weakness. Robin didn't like being disagreed with, but he looked at the replay again a few more times, using what Naruto said. Amaterasu, the goddess of the sun, doesn't like him and gave him a weakness. Naruto, you're sure that you're right? Robin had his mind working in overdrive. I mean, if a god isn't sure about you or doesn't like you, they typically give you a pretty nasty weakness. I can't fly if my belly button is covered and tell anyone about that. Naruto deadpanned when he realized he just told Robin one of his more weird weaknesses. Robin held back a few laughs, but managed to keep an almost straight face. So if you were to hazard a guess. I would guess, I grant you the weakness, that you may never see the light of day, that the sun's grace burn. Yao can use Amaterasu's black flames, but he can't ever experience her warm grace. Naruto would make a guess that would be what she would do, how she would word it, and the most ironic weakness for her to give somebody who she gave her blessing to. Robin zoomed in. He squinted. That's it. We did it, we figured out his weakness. His weakness is sunlight. Robin jumped up in excitement. Naruto was unsure about that too. Even if that is his weakness, he still has a handful of powers he didn't use. Also, what did he steal and we don't even know where he went off to. For all we know, he is gone. Naruto didn't want to focus too much on this. He felt like he was doing the gods dirty work by beating their failed champion. This felt wrong to him. You're right, I'm going to the Jump City Library to do some research on Japanese gods. Robin stormed out so that he could do more research. If you find out anything, let me know. We're going to take this guy down. Naruto looked at the replaying footage. Robin was gone, but the footage continued to show on replay. Wait a second. Naruto leaned forwards and looked at the mask. Only visible for a brief moment on the back of the mask, Naruto could see a small symbol. It was small, almost impossible to notice at a single glance. It was familiar. It was a fan with a red top. Heh, you lost. Our rivalry is over now, I've transcended beyond such a thing. A young man about Naruto's age spoke to him with a smirk, and on the pocket of his school uniform, the same fan was stitched into it. Sasuke? Naruto wasn't 100% positive. There was no possible way. His high school rival. He'll end him whatever it takes, I will end him. Blackfire hated that smug smile that appeared in her dreams every night. She had managed to seduce most of the Teen Titans into paying more attention to her than her little sister, but that one man saw through her schemes and taunted her constantly. It was just that one, singular, man who made it a point to make her sister happy, instead of praising her for how awesome she was. Then, he tricked her. He tricked her into having the gem on her, and she got arrested for her crime, instead of letting Starfire take the fall for her like she planned. He saw through her scheme and turned it around back on her, and then he didn't even fight her when it was over with. The last thing she remembered about him was him smirking smugly and giving her his stupid fox thing. The thing she was holding. She couldn't destroy it because looking at it filled her with anger and hatred. It kept her desire for revenge strong because it didn't let her forget about the humiliation she faced. She wouldn't just end him, she would make him suffer through humiliation as well. She would use her sister to do it, though first she would have to break out of prison to make it happen. With Naruto. Robinus this really needed. Sorry, but if researching your body and blood gets us a step closer to learning how to take down Sharingan when he shows up, don't you think it is worth it? Robin asked Naruto, who was sitting in his underwear on the medical table. Since Naruto was a demigod now, his biology was much closer to a god than a human in nature. Robin wanted to see if they could weaponize Naruto's biology against Sharingan, since Sharingan wasn't compatible with demigod biology. The alarms started going off. The second alarm started to go off. It's Indra block, he's attacking the prison and Sharingan is attacking a museum. Robin checked the alerts on his communicator and where they were coming from. Naruto transformed his lack of clothes into his hero outfit. Naruto, you get Starfire and Cyborg and go take down Sharingan if you can. I'll go with Raven and Beast Boy to stop Cinder Block. Robin moved into action and started to run towards the exit. Naruto nodded. Naruto flew and met up with Starfire. Naruto started, but Cyborg jumped onto his back without another word. Naruto deadpanned when Cyborg grabbed his shoulders. Onward. At the museum. The next ingredient he needed. It was impossible to get without tripping the alarm, but he had time until the Teen Titans showed up. Half of them were too slow to get to him quickly, so he could learn from his previous mistake and get out of there faster than they could arrive. Sharingan ran towards the exit, only for the exit door to open up. The blue beam of energy almost hit him right in the chest. The yellow ball and green ball of light went straight for him, and he saw 3 of the Titans standing outside of the exit, waiting for him. The day is not the day where you have luck, Sharingan. The day is not your lucky day. Cyborg corrected her when Starfire misworded the quote. Give up, Sharingan, this time won't be like last time. Titans, go. Cyborg shouted out, officially starting the battle. Sharingan pulled out a single black ball. He crushed it between his fingers, and dozens of snakes started to pour out of the smoke the black ball created. They were of various sizes and shapes and started to quickly rush towards them. Cyborg shot a straight blast towards the front row of them, slithering at him. I've never had a lucky day, which is what makes me better than you heroes. I don't need luck. Sharingan took out another ball and released more snakes. Naruto gathered a ton of light between his hands and released it all at once as a burst of light. The snakes were blinded as a result, giving Naruto the chance to fly toward Sharingan with Starfire, while Cyborg handled the snakes on the ground. He slammed his fist into the wall behind Sharingan when the man switched places with him. That ability is super annoying. Naruto took Starfire's fist to his face when she took aim at Sharingan, and he swapped places with her next, and Naruto just so happened to be standing behind Sharingan. Naruto was punched hard enough that his body broke through the concrete and he went crashing through the floor and into the basement of the museum. Oh. I am so sorry, Naruto, I did not mean to hit you. I will hit the villain Sharingan next time, I promise. Starfire assured him. He was still seeing stars from her punch. Sharingan ran away from Starfire and toward Cyborg, running through the snakes with ease. Starfire flew above the snakes, but they would snap at her, forcing her to dodge them or else get bitten by some unknown venom. The snakes were multiplying faster than Cyborg could destroy them with how many of the black balls that Sharingan seemed to bring with him. The little help Star, getting overwhelmed. Cyborg had the snakes biting his legs. His robot legs, so it did nothing, but he didn't want them getting to his human parts. Sharingan lifted a snake up with his hands and positioned it right next to his own neck. Goodbye, machine. Sharingan showed a black ball. He crushed it and swapped places with Cyborg, and the snake pulled back and prepared to strike Cyborg in the next. Deadly venom dripped from its fangs. Ah. Cyborg gave a scream of shock when the snake got closer to him. He managed to shoot it off of him just in time, but by doing that his sonic blast hit Starfire and knocked her through the wall. Sharingan gave a smug HMPH sound under his mask. Starfire, I'm sorry. Cyborg. Naruto called out when he pushed Cyborg out of the way. Naruto and Sharingan swapped places and Naruto was covered from head to toe in snakes. Naruto gathered his power into his hands and prepared to blast all of the snakes off of his body as quickly as he could. 2 of them bit him. Naruto then proceeded to turn every single snake in the hallway to dust with a blast of solar energy, hot enough to partially melt the floor underneath him. The snakes that had bit him were turned to ashes as well. Naruto, you okay? Cyborg joined him and so did Starfire. Sharingan was nowhere to be seen. Wanty Naruto couldn't be killed by disease or poison or even catch illness thanks to his blessings, but his weakness kicked in. Nope. Now it kicked in. The second the venom reached his heart, Naruto felt a mind-blanking pain. Naruto lost his sense of balance and collapsed to the floor because suddenly he just had no clue which way was up and where down was. Naruto, what's wrong buddy? Cyborg was down on his knee. Starfire covered her mouth with her hands. Weakness animal venom won't die. Won't die, you look like you're already dead, come on, we're getting you back to the tower. Starfire, you carry him to the tower, I'll tell Robin what happened. Later. You should have been more careful. I did everything I could, what do you expect? You guys just had to deal with Cinderblock, he was way easier than Sharingan and how was I supposed to know he could summon snakes like that? Naruto was in a ton of pain, but the pain was much easier to manage after how many hours of sleep. Naruto opened his eyes slightly and looked to see Robin and Cyborg were arguing in each other's faces. Naruto groaned and sat up on the bed he was in. Blood. Oh shit, hell happened here? Naruto asked as he looked at the entire bed half covered in his own blood. Also, can you two stop arguing? Have the worst headache of my life. Naruto could remember everything very clearly. Naruto, are you? Fine, I'm fine. That stupid god told me my weakness was venom. He didn't think it would be that bad. Remind me to never get bitten by another thing with venom again. Naruto laughed before he curled over in pain. The venom still seemed to be in his system to some degree. Naruto looked at a jar and saw that it had the venom in it. Thanks Raven. Naruto thanked Raven, seeing as he guessed she was the only one who could have removed the poison from him. No problem. So what happened while I was out? Naruto questioned Robin, since he still had no clue what was going on. Cinderblock managed to break open the cell containing Plasmus while we were fighting him and Sharingan got away. We managed to capture Cinderblock, but Plasmus escaped into the sewer. We'll go get him, you just rest up, thanks for the save. Cyborg seemed genuine with his thanks. He would have died if he had gotten bitten, but for Naruto getting bitten meant being taken out of the fight and mind-numbing levels of pain. Nah, I'm good now, I can fight. Naruto got out of the bed, but his legs didn't work right. Robin and Cyborg both grabbed one of his arms each and caught him. Okay, I'm out, but call me if you need me to come. It's fine, we can handle it. Robin insisted and forced Naruto back into the bed. Ring. Naruto's phone rang at his communicator, but his phone from Japan had rang. Naruto raised an eyebrow and looked at who was calling. Naruto snapped his phone in half. Who was calling? Stalker ex-girlfriend of mine from when I lived in Japan. Naruto said nothing more than that. He was not about to open that can of worms. So this part ends here. Alright, that's it for today's video guys, let me know in the comments section how was the story and also don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I will meet you in another video, bye bye.